6:50, I should say, a special board meeting to interview potential board candidates. Craig, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, just for the public's information here, we have 3 candidates who have applied for the position that is open until the 30th of November of this year. Candidates that are the candidate that's picked, and those are applying obviously can apply for the job on a full-time basis in the upcoming election. Filing begins tomorrow and runs, I believe, through the 29th of August. So if you're interested in filing for a board seat, we will have 3 seats open, including this one. So anyway, the 3 people that have applied for this position are Daniel Flom, Joe Klingenpeel, and Patricia Lauterbach. And Danny Flom called me on Wednesday and informed me that he is part of the mine rescue team. They're doing nationals in Kentucky, and he was not going to be able to make it tonight. So we made arrangements and we did an interview. Craig did the questions, interviewed Dan Flom on Friday. It is videotaped and we will play that here in just a second. The other 2 candidates, I talked to them before the meeting. Can I call you Pat? Yes. Thanks. I talked with Pat and Joe and they didn't care which way we went with this. So Pat will go first and Joe will go second, even though the agenda has it the other way. So that's what we'll do. So if I could have Joe and Pat exit and go out front, Craig will take you out there and you can ask him all the questions you want. And before you go, we decided as a board that whoever we select tonight, because the person we select tonight hasn't had the opportunity to appraise themselves of what's on the agenda. So what we're going to do is we are going to, whoever we pick tonight, we'll swear you in after our board meeting, because you guys will be asked to make decisions on stuff you don't have any information on. So that's what we've decided to do. So is that okay with you guys? Okay, perfect.
Could be Dan.
And it could be Dan, and he's not here. So, yeah. JR, I assume this will show up on the screen right in front of us. Okay, go ahead. This is an interview with Daniel Flom on Friday of last week.
Flom for the open position on the board. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So we've got 7 questions that we'll ask and go through, and if you ever want to go back and readdress any of those questions, feel free to take as much time answering as you feel need, or as short a time as you need. And if you're not sure of the question, don't hesitate to ask, and I'll try to do a better job of explaining it. So you have the questions in front of you.
Okay.
The first question is, why would you like to be appointed to the Sweetwater County School District Number 2 Board of Trustees?
There's a few different reasons I'd like to be. First of all, to help out the community, help out the school system that helped me out. And then I think there needs to be some more younger blood on the school system that has the kids in the school, not grandkids or something like that, but actually have kids in the school system that are starting out at the bottom as kindergartners, 1st grade. And so I think my side of that with my kids would help me bring more to the board than some of the older people that are on the board. They have a lot of good seniority, or not seniority, but experience.
Yeah.
And I would like to learn from them, but also stay with it through a while.
Okay, all right, good. So please discuss your qualifications to be a board member.
Some of the biggest ones, I'm on some different boards with the union out at work, and then also I am part of Mine Rescue with work. So that takes me up, takes up some time, but also helps me I have to serve everybody.
Okay.
I am an Eagle Scout. I've been part of different boards. I've helped out with Skills USA and Ford AAA, trying to get some of the auto students ready in previous years. So I'd just like to continue that.
Okay. And I think you said previously you were a student of the
Yes.
coming through Sweetwater. So, okay, very good. Okay, how would you perceive your role with the community if you were appointed to this as a board member?
the roles change from just being a citizen to actually being part of the community. You have to listen more. You have to actually take people's considerations into effect, and just listen. The biggest thing is people try to just bombard people, and you got to take the time to listen and understand people. I already had people when I tried to run last year or the last election. There's a lot of people that ask me questions from work that they don't know how the school system works. They don't know, they don't understand. They just see, oh, the school system put this out. And so there's a lot of roles of just being informed and trying to step people through it as easy as they can to make it all work.
Okay, good. Number 4, what do you think are the greatest challenges facing the district, and what would be your platform in addressing these challenges? And if you can, name 3.
I think one of the biggest ones that everybody knows of is the budget. It's going to keep getting tighter and tighter, and we got to make sure we keep everything in order and actually still offer our kids as much as we can. We can't just say we're going to exnate everything and just focus on the core values. We got to still keep our eyes open and our board or our electives open and everything else to keep it going.
Okay.
The second one I can see is it'd be with the teaching part of it. Of the No Child Left Behind was a big part of it, and then there's so much change that everybody wants, and it's trying to actually see what's good for our students and what's good for the community, not what's good for the whole nation. It's what's good for our community. The third one I can see is getting people to understand that not everybody's ready for college. That's a big push. Every 4-year college. We also got to think of our trades. I'm part of it. I'm a diesel mechanic underground. I grew up in the trades. I have family in the trades. We got to realize that not everybody can go to 4-year college. I wouldn't have made it. So we got to push both sides. There's the option to work with your hands for a living, or if you have the talent, you have the skills, go to the 4-year college. Go farther.
Very good. What are some other goals you would have if you were appointed to the board?
Some of the big ones is the concurrent enrollment, because that helped me out.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I was able to do it all while I was a junior and senior when they first started bringing out, especially the automotive side, that I was able to walk in at Western as a sophomore and within 2 years walk out with 2 associate's degrees. I couldn't have done that if I didn't get some courses out of the way. We need to make sure kids are aware of it, because I think it helps a lot of kids, especially if you have a kid that's trying to find his way. Let's start here where it doesn't cost him money, doesn't cost mom and dad money. Let's start here, let's figure it out. See what the kid wants. I like that we're bringing in more of like the FHA and that type of stuff back into the school system instead of just focusing so much on sports and stuff like that. We're actually bringing other things in with the Skills USA and all that stuff, that we're not just focused just on education, we're actually doing life education. And I think that's one thing that's been missing for a while, is the life education of, okay, how is a kid going to balance a checkbook? How is a kid actually going to cook dinner and budget for a family? I think that's starting to go away, and we need to bring it back into the system.
Okay, very good. I think we're on 6, right?
Yes.
What concerns you most about being a board member?
Sometimes I worry about like my family, just because there are parents that can and will go after kids. I don't think it happens as much, but it can, and that's one of my biggest concerns. I don't mind people come up and talk to me in the store. I don't mind that. But it's between me as a board member and the community.
So, just for clarification, you have 2 kids, right?
Yes.
And you have
I have a kid he'd be
gonna be 2nd grade.
2nd grader this year, and then one that's 4 that she's still in daycare.
Okay.
And then I also have a wife that is a teacher in the school system.
All right. Yes, and Tara teaches at
7th grade
7th.
science.
Okay. Very good. Okay. If there is anything you would like us to, let me rephrase number 7.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would like us to know that we don't already or know or has been asked?
The biggest thing that I look at is, like I said, I really want to push the IA and the industrial trades, because me as a kid, I wouldn't have made it. I really want to push that not everybody's designed for 4 years of college. And And I think it's something with some of the government changes and some of the other stuff that we need to look back at. And there's a lot of stuff that we just need to look back at. We have, like I said, with the life skills.
Yep.
I don't know how many kids I see coming into the mines. I've worked in the mines for 12 years now. We have kids that don't know how to even make a lunch. We have kids that, and one thing that surprised me, we don't have kids that can't drive a manual transmission vehicle. That surprises me. Yes, I know I grew up with an older group of people and parents that taught me the old way. I grew up on farms. I know I had a different living. But we still need to teach our kids to be ready for life. And that's one thing I think we're not teaching. We're teaching too much of, you need perfect grades, you need perfect this. Let's teach that also. But we also got to bring back to like the old life science. How many kids can still sew a button on if they pop a button off a shirt? They just go buy new. Let's go back to some of the basics.
Yep, I think you'll see it, there's starting to be a shift, but you talk about the IA classes, they are some of our most popular classes at the high school. Luckily, this district, I think, has done a good job of keeping that focus on those. Those classrooms are as full as they can be most periods.
Yeah, and with the welding certifications, that kids are coming out with welding certifications, and I also take part of the adult woodworking class through BOCES.
Very cool.
Because it's something that Tim Cassie taught me I liked, I loved. And I could use the equipment that I can't purchase myself.
Yeah.
And it's nice that the school system also helps out the community more than people think. With different programs, the REC program, and helping everything out, that I just don't think it's spread out to people, for people to know as easily.
Yeah, and that's another one that, you know, you'd be a part of the rec board, and one of our big donations was to the
The BMX track.
BMX track, all right, is there anything else, Mr. Flom?
The biggest thing is I appreciate you guys allowing me to do this, since I will be at National Mine Rescue Contest during this.
Yeah.
So to get the jump ahead and get this done so I can focus on doing what I need to do there and try to defend our championship title that we have there.
All right.
So I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. So with that, I'm going to shut that down.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Would someone got there? Need Pat. Okay.
Hello.
Welcome, Pat.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for your interest in this position. We appreciate that.
Sure.
Just a quick introduction would be great, Pat. I think most of us know who you are.
Okay. My name is Pat Lauterbach. I worked for the school district and just recently retired. Worked over 35 years in the district as many different positions. Classroom teacher, art teacher, computer teacher, data assessment coordinator, just a little bit of everything, I think, except admin.
Okay. All right. We're going to ask you 7 questions.
Okay.
And take your time. Just tell us what you want us to hear. First question is, why would you like to be appointed to the Board of Trustees in Green River?
Well, I think that this is an excellent school district. In all the years that I worked for the school district, I did training or went places to get training. And I always came back feeling very grateful for what we have here, because listening to other teachers that work in other states or other districts within Wyoming, we've always had a very strong, a very good school district here. And I'd like to be a part of it for the next 3 months anyway.
Okay. Can you discuss some of your qualifications of being a board member in your mind?
I've been on boards before. I was board president for the YWCA in Sweetwater County for over 10 years. Also, not only as the board president, but also as the liaison with the Support and Safe House, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the different mini subcategories under the umbrella of the board. The way that board function is a lot like, well, exactly the way this board functions, and how you make decisions, how you take consideration and vote on it and things like that. It's all the same Robert's Rules of Order is what they use and what you use. So I'm familiar with that.
Okay, Pat, how would you perceive your role with the community if you were appointed as a board member?
As a community as a whole, I've been here for 40 some odd years. I know a lot of people, and I think a lot of people would be open up or have that communication with me without any problem. Because I have been a member of the school district, a staff member of the school district. A lot of people here in this district already. I think I would be able to just have an open communication.
Okay. What do you think are the greatest challenges facing the district, and what would be your platform to help address some of those challenges?
Well, last year, while I was in my first year of retirement from a school district, I did some subbing. I know we have a hard time getting in subs, getting in good subs, because they're very important to this district. We need a lot of staff to run this school district, not just subs and teachers, but we also have bus drivers and things like that. So I think that the challenges in is of the school district is a lot like every place else, having enough people, having qualified people, being able to keep people.
Can you give me a couple more?
Tell me the question again.
What do you think are the greatest challenges facing the district, and what would be your platform to address these challenges?
Okay, another issue or a challenge would probably be the budget. I think our budget is looking better than we thought it was going to look. So it looks pretty good, but how are we going to keep that looking pretty good and be able to maintain a good budget? Because the funding is an important issue. Now, how would I address it? I think that the communication, once again, we have a great staff that takes care of the budget here, and they're always on top of things with the legislature and keeping that communication with the legislature and keeping our eyes on it and making sure that we're aware and can be prepared for anything that comes our way.
Okay, anything else?
Well, a lot of it goes around budget. We want to make sure that everybody has enough training, has great training, being able to maintain their jobs at a high efficiency and effective level, not just classroom teachers, but everybody. And that, again, boils down to budget. So I think that keeping our staff members at a top effective and efficient people is a challenge sometimes.
Okay, thanks. Other goals that you would have if appointed to the board?
Personally, I would love to get back into classrooms and love to be able to see what's going on. I kind of miss that. It's only been a year. Okay, the honeymoon's over. And I really think that I could really bridge classroom and education in our district with non-educators on the board and in the community. So I think I would be an asset, and that would be my goals, to make sure that I would be a good asset in that way.
Okay. What concerns you most about being a board member?
I don't think I have any concerns. The timing is fine. I have the time. I'm able to do the commitment. I've been on this side of the board all the time. I'd like to see it from that side. So, but I don't think I have any concern.
Okay, great. And then is there anything you would like to tell the board that maybe we haven't asked, something else that you have that you'd like us to know?
Well, just that because I am retired and my goal is to do a lot of traveling, mostly through the winter, but you're looking for somebody through November. And the reason why I'm not doing a lot of traveling right now is because of gas prices and the way the economy is right now. So I know you're only looking for 3 months, but if you're looking for somebody that's gonna, maybe run for this position, then I'm probably 50-50 as far as would I do that, would I not do that? Just so you know.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, any questions of the board?
Where are you going to travel to?
In the winter, it'll be south, anywhere. And I love summers up here in Montana and this area. So this worked out great, staying up here. And then come end of November, December, I would like to go south for a while.
I'm with you on that.
I've had
Good.
enough. I've had 40 years of Wyoming winters. I'm
We're
good.
getting closer.
But I do
getting
love
closer.
the summers up here.
Yeah, all right. Well, thanks, Pat. We appreciate it. And
Thank you.
again,
Appreciate
just
the
go
opportunity.
sit out there and we'll visit with Mr. Klingenpeel and we'll have a decision.
Okay.
We'll announce our decision before the board meeting, but like I said, we'll swear him in after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, Pat. Joe, welcome.
Well, thank you.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to us. Tell us who you are and those kind of things.
Okay, my name's Joe Klingenpeel. I live in Green River here. My wife and I, Denise, have been here for about 12 years. Both our boys graduated from here. Maurice graduated 2015. Eric graduated in 2017. My wife teaches here. She's been here teaching for about 10 years now. They have been very successful after school. That's due to the community they lived in, the school they went to, and my wife. I can't take any of the credit for that, but we have been very happy with the school district here and the community.
Okay. I got 7 questions for you, Joe, and if you need follow-ups and if we need follow-ups, we'll do that. Okay.
Sure.
Why would you like to be appointed to the Board of Trustees?
Well, I'm coming in here really without an agenda, maybe an agenda. I want to give back to Green River. Again, my boys had a great opportunity here, and I want to help continue that opportunity. I want to give other students, the other students here, the same opportunity that my boys had for success. I think Wyoming schools in general are good. Green River's great. My boys came here in 7th grade and 9th grade, so they've been at several different schools. And this is head and shoulders above any other school they went to. This was their favorite school. They loved it here. My wife taught at several different schools in several different states, so we have a lot to compare to. Nothing compares to Green River.
Okay. And I guess just as a kind of a follow-up, Joe, you were a teacher here in the district.
Yes, I taught 6th grade for 5 years. And then for some reason, I decided to go in with the Wyoming Education Association. I loved working with the teachers. I was an advocate for them. But it really wasn't my passion. So right now I'm the director of transportation over at Sweetwater 1.
Okay, great. Can you discuss some of your qualifications to being a board member, at least in your eyes?
Yeah, absolutely. In the past 11 years, I've seen just about everything there is to see within education. I've been a parent. I'm still a parent, but I've had parents in this school. I've taught here. I've been an administrator. I'm still an administrator. So I've seen it from every direction. I go to 1, probably 2, sometimes 2 board meetings every month. So I see how it's ran. I've never been through, the only thing I haven't seen is a executive session. which for me is probably a good thing because it wouldn't be good if I was in an executive session. So
Usually it's not.
exactly. So I've got a depth of knowledge at every level, and an advocate for teachers too. So I did that also.
Okay, and I guess as a follow-up, because you brought it up, and that is, does the school district in Rock Springs know you're doing this, and is there going to be a conflict? Because our board meetings, I don't think they're the same night. I think they're Monday and we're Tuesday.
They're not the same. And I talked to the superintendent and
Okay.
she has no issues at
Okay,
all with it.
right. It just hit me that they actually go Monday and we do Tuesday.
Yes.
Okay, great. How would you perceive your role with the community if you were appointed as a board member?
You have to listen to the community. A board member position is a tough position. You have to make tough decisions. Your decisions can't be based on one student unless you're discussing one student, making decisions for that one student. Your decisions have to be based on what's best for the students, what's best for the teachers, what's best for the community, because the school is a big part of our community. Big schools are big parts of every community. So those decisions have to be based on knowledge. You have to be able to make the best decision you make. And then when it's time to make a decision, you need to make that decision and be able to stick with it. So you have to have thick skin. And as an administrator over the past almost 3 years, I have grown very thick skin. I've had to terminate employees. I've worked with them. I've helped them. I've been called about every name in the book. I won't even tell that story, but yes. So you have to have thick skin, and I think I have that.
Okay. What do you think are the greatest challenges facing the district, and what would be your platform to address these challenges? We're looking for 3.
Well, it's tough to get money from the state, so funding is a very tough thing right now. I can tell you right now, busing is a very difficult thing. You can't find drivers. That's not only here in Green River or Rock Springs, it's throughout the entire nation. So getting our kids to school is very difficult. And I think maybe more communication with as much communication as possible with the public, because they come and say, you didn't tell us that we are going to change this. Well, I'd like to get people at least watching the board meetings online so they know that we've discussed, like, I'll just use bus routes for an example. You can't just change bus routes without telling us about it. Well, we told you 2 board meetings ago, we said, these are going to be our proposed bus routes. And then we put them out for public comment. And then we approve them and then and publish them. Well, we published them before too, to look at, but I would like to get more involvement with the community. It just makes the board's job easier. It makes the district's job easier to communicate with the public so they know what to expect. They know what's going on and they can give their input. So communication with them is very important.
Okay, other goals you would have if appointed to the board?
I would like to get out, talk to the teachers, talk to the administrators, find out what some of the issues are out there, what our students need, and see if we can make any change. You're not going to change anything overnight, but you get some good ideas from talking to people.
Okay. What concerns you most about being a board member?
I don't have a whole lot of concerns about being a board member. I mean, like I said, I've seen it. I've been involved in a lot of board meetings. I don't mind speaking in front of groups. I would maybe conflict of interest or something with, like if you're voting on a contract, I would probably have to declare a contract or a conflict because my wife's a teacher and I can't vote on that. So I would have to pay attention to any of those things. I guess the biggest thing that would concern me, like I said, I've seen a lot of it, but I have a ton to learn. I've seen this much and there's this much to know. So being able to learn things. I'd like to get some training. I don't know if the school board has any training you can go to. That would concern me. I would like to get gain as much knowledge as I can about the process.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Tell us something we don't know.
Well, I've done a lot of things in my life. When I graduated from college, I graduated with a criminology degree. So I went to the Air Force and became a B-52 navigator. I did that for about 3 years. I was in Minot, North Dakota, which there was about 6 of us in my class in B-52s when we were training. And they said, hey, you guys get in this room. Here's the bases. You guys choose where you're going to go. I was the only married person in there. And they said, you're going to go to Minot, North Dakota. And I said, okay. And I loved it. I didn't mind it at all. I don't mind the snow. Well, back then I didn't mind the snow. I'm starting to not like the snow as much anymore. But from there, I got out and got a job on a sheriff's department in Indiana and got on a reserve base flying KC-135s on the same day. So I did that I was in the reserves for about 2 or 3 years, and then they got rid of navigators off the plane. They don't have navigators on them anymore. And I was too old to go to pilot training. So I just went ahead and got out. I stayed on the sheriff's office for about 6 years. And then I went on with the Secret Service. I was a special agent with the Secret Service for 13 years. I've seen different countries. I've been to just about every state in the United States except Alaska, and I'd really like to go. I've been to Cuba when you couldn't go to Cuba. I've been all over the place. So I've done a lot of things. Learned a lot about leadership. They hired me at Sweetwater One for my leadership abilities, not for my knowledge of transportation, which I had none. I learned it very quickly because you have to, but they hired me for my leadership abilities.
All right, great. Well, Joe, like we said, we'll convene into a little session here and we'll have a chance to talk about all 3 of the candidates, and we'll come out and make an announcement. And we think it's fair that the person we choose tonight takes the oath of office after the meeting, because you haven't had the information we've had.
Yep,
So
makes sense.
that's the plan.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate it.
So moved.
Moved by Brenda, second by Ashley.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. To end our executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Brenda to end our executive session. And with that, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that this board appoint Danny Flum to the board in the interim.
Okay, moved by Mark, second by Brenda to appoint Daniel Flom to the Board of Trustees. Following till the 30th of November of 2022. And we'll have to swear him in when he comes back. So whenever we get a time frame from him. So any other comments?
Pat and Joe, I'd like to thank you for your time and coming and interviewing for the position and strongly encourage you to run. We have a couple openings.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, all those in favor?
Bye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned. Mr. Obrey, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Welcome back, administrators. Nice to see your smiling faces this evening. Appreciate that. Appreciate people in attendance. Our first announcement is we did this in open public meeting, and you've probably already heard, but the Board of Trustees have selected Daniel Flom to fill the vacant seat on the board through November 30th, 2022. Dan's actually out of town and won't be back till this weekend, and we will swear him in on Monday. In case you didn't see it, we did have a video recording of Dan because he's out of town at the National Mine Rescue Competition. So we did do an interview with Craig on Friday. We interviewed the other two candidates and made the decision this evening. So we welcome Daniel Flom, and thanks to Lee and Pat for showing an interest in the Board of Trustees. Next items is public comments. Now's the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized, speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of the district. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual, 5 for a group spokesperson. No speakers shall speak more than twice on any issue. Board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Anybody like to speak to the board tonight? There being none, we'll move on. Our next item is introduction of new coaches. Mr. Beardsley, you survived the summer. Welcome.
Good evening, Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. Tonight, I'm going to introduce some cheer coaches and our volleyball coach to you. Jessica, if you want to come up for a second, please. I know that a lot of you may know Jessica already, but we'd like to welcome Jessica Demaray as our new volleyball coach this season. Some background on Jessica is she's already been our head volleyball coach before, and I think Mr. Wilson was probably the athletic director at that time. And so now she's back on her second stint, former All-State athlete for Green River High School, former player at the University of Wyoming, played some volleyball up there. Like I said, former Green River High School coach. She's got a vision. She set some high goals and some high standards for our volleyball program. She's been working those kids hard this summer already, putting in time, going to Idaho State University for a team camp, putting on a middle school camp. It's just nonstop already. And so we're glad that she's stepped up and taken all of that on. And as you know, Jessica works up at the high school and has been a longtime employee of our district in the HR office and now up in the registrar's office up at the high school. So welcome aboard, Jessica. If I can get my cheer coaches up here, that would be outstanding. So we've hired a new head and assistant cheer coach this year, and actually Trustee Castillion was in on that with me, helped out in that process. And I want to introduce our head coach first, Darby Sessions. You'll have to understand, trustees, that both of our coaches are from the Star Valley area. So we don't hold that against them, but we wanted to bring them in. So Darby was an all-state, Darby was an all-state dancer for Star Valley High School, and she was part of 4 state championship dance programs while she was there. She's already been hard at work. Her and Haley Astle is our assistant coach. And if you note that name, Mr. Korn may know it, but there's a linebacker at Star Valley by the name of Astle who is not very friendly to us. That's her brother, and he's still there. So we're going to tell her to make sure he tones it down when they play us this year. But anyway, Darby and Haley have been hard at work. They're both Star Valley kids. Haley was a all-state and all-American cheerleader. And as a matter of fact, when she was in high school, she was invited to cheer by the American Cheer Association at the Citrus Bowl. So she was invited to cheer there. And so with her cheer background and her all-state history in cheer and Darby's history in such a great dance program, we've got a good crew here and we want to welcome them aboard. And they also went straight to work. They've had practices all summer already. We've already had a camp where we brought in the American Cheer Association. They've already set up a camp with the United Cheer Association, the same group that helped train our kids last year that went to nationals. They're already on top of things, and both Haley and Darby will be working as paraprofessionals in our district. Haley will be working with Mr. Lake down at Harrison, and Darby will be working up at the high school with Mr. Heslop. So we welcome them aboard.
All right. Okay, thank you for coming tonight. I'll skip my comments on Star Valley. Introduction of new administrator, Mr. Dr. Foos.
Thank you, Chairman, Core, Trustees, Superintendent Behringer. Before I turn the mic over to Mr. Heslop to talk about TJ Castilian a little bit, I'd like to introduce Katie as our new Assistant Business Manager. She's been in the district for 12 years. She has her accounting degree. She's filling the hole that Corinne left. And Katie, I just wanted to recognize you just a little bit, and thanks for your commitment to the district, and thanks for being here.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, and Board of Trustees, thanks for letting me be here tonight. I wanted to bring up Mr. TJ Castilian. We've hired Mr. Castilian as our assistant principal at Green River High School this year, and we're pretty excited to have him. He's a former graduate of Green River and back in the late 80s. I don't want to give you the exact number because then you'll start dating him a little bit, but he had a long illustrious career at Cheyenne School District. He was both at Central and at South. He helped open the South High School and was very instrumental in creating a positive culture with groups of kids that are very at risk and needy. And he was instrumental in that process. And we're really excited to have him here to help support our kids.
All right, welcome, TJ. All right, Liz Tolman, is she here? Okay, we'll move on to recognition of Green River High School Jostens Renaissance Global Conference. Man, this is a mouthful. Silver Tier School of Distinction Award. Mr. Skinner, we are ready for some end of summer entertainment.
If that's the case, you should definitely join us on Thursday at the high school.
I
for our
understand I need to
meeting.
be there.
It's going to be wonderful. We're looking forward to celebrating all the teachers, all the educators, administrators in our district. We're just going to have some fun that day. So please, we'd love to have you join us. So a little bit about the Jostens Renaissance program, and specifically the School of Distinction Award that Green River High School was recognized with. The Jostens Renaissance School of Distinction designation was created 2 years ago. It was to celebrate schools that are in collaboration with the efforts of the Renaissance program that are making a difference in their schools, culture, and climate through the 6 R's of Renaissance, which are respect, recognize, reward, reinforce, build relationships, and then get results is the concept. So through a lengthy process that we went through in taking everything that had been done over the year. So this is not, even though it was presented from the student government and student council, it is not representative only of student government or student council. It is where we take everything that has been done at Green River High School, things that the administration has been working on in lowering behavioral issues, in increasing attendance, in improving graduation rates, to everything that's been done through community service, through our FFA programs, through National Honor Society. So we collect everything throughout the entire school year that Green River High School has done that is focused on improving not only our school, but our entire community through the culture and climate that we establish at the school itself. And then we submit that for recognition, and We were designated with a School of Distinction Award, the silver level. And we look forward to, now that we understand a little bit more about it, looking forward to doing that again next year, as well as sharing that with other schools here in our district, because we know the great work that they're doing. They should be recognized for it as well. So we're looking forward to sharing that with them, and then hoping that we get some more of our schools being recognized through this program.
All right.
Did Marissa leave? Oh, okay. Wonderful. Any of our students wanted to share a little bit of the experience that you participated in? Or are we good? Let's have our student government president, our student body president, Charlotte Fowler will share a little bit.
So I don't know, it's just a really good experience because we got to meet people from all over, like the United States, and got ideas from them to bring to our school. And I'm like super excited for this school year. So yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Any questions that you might have for us?
Nope. Congratulations. Awesome stuff.
We will be receiving a banner that will be going up at the high school for that as well. And I think also we have pins that everyone at the high school will be receiving as well. That does a little lapel pin designating that
All
we
right.
are
Cool.
that School of Distinction.
All right. Congratulations. Good job. Okay, our next item will be approval of the agenda. I need a motion, please.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second. Moved by Tom, second by Dave to approve the agenda.
Oh, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add item 6.01. Consider approval of certified contract for 2022 to 2023.
Need a second on that?
Second.
Second by Brenda. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All those in favor of the amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next is the approval of the consent agenda items. Is there anything on there that someone would like to move off to that to discuss? I would just make one mention. I know we're not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I loved the reports on all the grants. The Farm Credit Grant Award is $10,000, and that'll be for our new FFA facility. And overall, the Green River School Districts are getting $8.3 million in grants. It's pretty good stuff. All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda, consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Ashley, second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next, scheduled meetings for McKinnon Elementary Granger. What are you thinking here, Craig?
A date that works well for you guys. Last year we did it in the fall. 2 years ago, we tried to do it in the spring and the weather was not cooperative. So moving it to the fall was a good thing. If you have some time in September.
Let's have you send an email out to us and we can all look at our, give us some your thoughts on some dates,
Okay.
and then we'll try to figure it out. It'd be nice to have at least 4 board members that can go, or 3. Be good. It's always a good visit in McKinnon and Granger. Okay, we do have a Wyoming School Board Association Fall Roundup coming on September 21st. We are hosting that here in the Central Administration Boardroom, and it begins at 5:30. Is it 21st? What day is that of the week?
That is
Is that a Monday?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday? Okay. That works for me. Okay, great. Next, consider approval of the certified contract for 22-23. Dr. Foose, welcome back.
Thank you, Chairman, Core Trustees. The Title I vacancy over at Washington Elementary, Miranda Smith is who that committee is recommending for your consideration.
Need a motion, please?
a motion.
Second.
Moved by Tom, second by Brenda to approve Miranda Smith, Title I teacher at Washington. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Next, here presentation on the secondary summer school. Mr. Joe Hamill, welcome.
Chairman Core, Superintendent Behringer, Board of Trustees. I put together a slide presentation dating back to 2016, 2017. It's pretty similar to what was here last year, just kind of giving numbers in different grades. So you see in 2016, 2017, we had 156 students in K-5. We had 39 in grades 6 through 8, and we had 48 in grades 9 through 12. In 17 and 18, we had 147 in K-5, which was pretty similar. 17 in grades 6 through 8, and 38 in grades 9 through 12. So you can see the secondary numbers went down. Elementary slightly went down, but was pretty steady. 18, 19, we had 124 in K-5. We only had 9 in grades 6 through 8, and we had 50 in grades 9 through 12. So in grades 9 through 12, we had 54 classes during the summer completed. So with only 50 students to complete 54 classes, some of those students completed double. That's one of the things. They can take 2 classes in the summer, but they can't take them at the same time. They have to finish one, and then they can start the second one. So there were 27 credits recovered at that point. That number has been somewhat steady for a number of years. Then we hit the COVID year where we did not have summer school in grades K-5 or 6-8. We had 46 students in grades 9 through 12, and again, completed 48 classes, which again shows you that some kids completed more than one. Obviously, some kids didn't complete any for 24 credits recovered. Then last year, when we kicked it back up in the elementary in grade 6 through 8, we got up to 87 K-5 students, 12 in grade 6 through 8, and 46 in grades 9 through 12. 43 classes completed for 21 and a half credits recovered. Those numbers are somewhat similar to what you'll see coming up in this past summer. So we did in 21-22 K-5, we had 122 students, which was a pretty good increase from where we were. We did increase in grades 6 through 8, and grades 9 through 12 stayed exactly the same. We had 42 classes that got completed for 21 credits recovered.
Okay, questions? I have one question, and that is 122 K-5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work? Does a parent say my kid needs a little more work, or does a teacher say that, or how's that work?
So the teachers recommend students for summer school, and then those recommendations get sent out to a parent, and then the parents either say yes or no. So in this case, I think initially the list was about 180 students in K-5, and we ended up with 122. So there were some parents that said no, but the vast majority of them said yes. And K-5 goes just for 1 month. So we ran from, I think I think June 1st to June 24th. I think it was exactly 4 weeks school-wise. Summer school at 6, 8, and 9, 12. Those kids go 5 weeks, Monday through Friday from 8 to 1. Elementary only goes 3 hours. They go 8 to 11. We used to, years ago, run 2 different sessions. And then when the numbers started dropping, we didn't see the need to go to the second session.
Okay, and I would assume the 186 or whatever that number was you shared, is that a direct reflection to COVID?
I think that played a big role. I mean, because, at the end of the 1920 school year, we obviously weren't in classes. And then when we came back, we had an awful lot of quarantines last year and kids that didn't do anything when they were on the COVID break. So, some of those kids went backwards, and it was an attempt this summer to try and rectify that.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Next is a presentation on school startup. Mr. Behringer.
So we kick off tomorrow officially with all our teachers, and Mr. Fagenser and I will be out to every building except the high school, and we'll meet with them Friday. We'll meet with each building individually. Our new teachers came in yesterday and today, and we have 24 of them. Chairman Core came in and welcomed them here, and it was 2 very good days with them. I think it is good to see energetic people, and I think we have some positive energy in the new people, and the mentors met with their teachers today here at central office. So that brought in about 50 here. Thursday, you're all invited from 8:30 to 11:30 ish. We will be having our all district gathering. We're calling it Celebrating Us. As you know, we've had a lot of very good things happen, and even things that probably didn't get recognized that are happening. And Mr. Skinner is emceeing that, and we have some speakers, and I don't want to give too much away, but we've got a pretty good setup. So it should be fun. And so one of the things we're doing is dress like it's summer, because we don't have air conditioning at the high school yet. So it's going to be comfortable.
Darn it.
Dr. Foose is going to come in his tank top, he said. So that's going to be scary for all of us. But excited to have everybody back, and kids come back Wednesday, and we're ready. So
Okay,
Thanks.
sounds good. Yeah, if you haven't been to this, Tom, you've been to this a couple times, I'm sure, but it's pretty cool. All right. If you can make it, make it. Maybe if you just go for a half hour, that's good. Our next presentation on our K-5 work at Fort Smith, Arkansas, on the Marzano High Reliability Schools. Mr. Fergenzer, welcome.
Thank you, Chairman Core, Superintendent Berenger, and Board of Trustees. This was actually all of our administrators. We had 2 that couldn't attend. They had prior commitments, but we had all of our administrators, and we had all of our instructional facilitators. Last month, you heard Jason refer a couple of times to the school wellness wheel. And so we're going to go through a little bit of what that means and what high reliability schools are, and the process that we would like to follow over the next few years with high reliability schools. Mary, do you want to click that forward? I may have it. So looking at our areas of focus from our strategic plan, number 1 is improve wellness and safety, 2, improve student achievement, and 3, improve communication and collaboration. So going through the wellness wheel work that we've done and high reliability schools, we have never lost any sight of these 3 areas of focus. So high reliability schools is a work that was originally written and published in 2014. In that, there are 5 levels of high reliability schools. For us, we are going to focus primarily on the first 3: safe, supportive, and collaborative culture, effective teaching in every classroom, and a guaranteed and viable curriculum. As I said, the book was published in 2014, and within the book, it promotes use of mastery topics and proficiency scales, and I'll explain where those came from. This work from 2014 obviously didn't account for COVID and some of the trauma that our students started to exhibit post-COVID, but we were seeing a lot of social emotional needs, and Alan can attest to that, even before COVID hit. As we were at this conference, people from across the country were there, and they had asked a question, was this the hardest year in education? And I think everybody in the room said absolutely. So last year is a year that we saw a lot of different behaviors, a lot of challenges. And, our kids have gone through some trauma. We know a number of kids have lost relatives, very close relatives. And those things have a very deep effect on our children. So the school wellness wheel, the purpose for this really added that social emotional piece to high reliability schools. The focus of the wellness wheel is a trauma responsive process to help our students. This whole piece is a framework based in trauma, culture, and mastery of identified topics. And the purpose of that is to raise student achievement. We always have to strive for that next level. Once I was asked by a teacher years ago, Greg, when's enough? And I looked back at her and I said, when's enough for your kid? She didn't like that response nearly as much as I thought she would, and we didn't talk for a while. But we always need to take that next step. We need to continue to look at what the research tells us. And what the research is telling us today is significantly different about the impact of trauma on the brain, and what we can do as teachers and as educators to help actually rehabilitate the brain, take away some of that trauma and strengthen those areas that help students learn, while shrinking the areas that cause fight or flight. So we are in that work right now. And as you look, the mastery-based learning is where we're starting. It's at the top of that wheel. And as I said, this process never loses focus on our strategic goals, and it encompasses both high reliability schools and student wellness. So if you look at that blue chart, you'll see mastery and HRS, high reliability schools, level 1. Mike Rule has come to our district a number of times, and the people that saw him in the district, they said, this message has to get to a broader audience. So in talking with both Jason and Alan, and of course Craig, we decided to go to Fort Smith. And because Mike was going to be there, he wrote the book, The School Wellness Wheel. And we wanted to show them what high reliability schools are, and then hear that message from Mike Rule. Those two things, and those are our focuses, mastery-based learning and high reliability schools level 1. And this gives us a clear progression from the time a student steps into our school, either in junior kinder or kinder, and goes all the way with them through high school upon their graduation. But the thing about this is it does not take away what teachers are doing well. It is not a program or a curriculum that we're buying to where we say, if we're going to spend millions of dollars on a tool, we're going to use it with fidelity. I believe that we need to have fidelity to our kids and not to a program. So in this process, mastery-based education, we haven't really examined our curriculum maps and some of those things since 2017. Going back to 2014, 15, the momentum on the work that we had done had began to lag. And so in looking at all of what we do, looking at Marzano's work, what he's done is take 30 years of standards research from prior to like the late 1990s to the 2000s, through the teens and now into the 20s. He's taken all of that work and found mastery topics that bridge all of those years. And so the mastery topics are built from those standards, but primarily from the Common Core state standards and the Wyoming state standards, as we built off of Common Core. The School Wellness Wheel and the High Reliability Schools, levels 1, and Guaranteed and Viable Curriculum, that's mastery teaching and learning, level 3. Those will be our focus. Okay. And then these two areas, and as we add in the effective teaching in the future, we are dealing with all 3 areas of our strategic plan. So to start with, safe and supportive schools, we give a survey. That survey is based on these 8 topics, and it's a long survey, but it gives us a great amount of detail that we will turn into the results to the Marzano Foundation or the Marzano Group. They will analyze all of our data, break it apart, and look at each school individually, and then our system as a whole. So that way we can look at exactly where we need to focus in a safe and collaborative culture. Obviously, our collaborative culture is our PLCs and collaborating among administrators and teachers to administrators and teachers and aides in their PLCs. So we give this survey to staff, students, parents, and administrators. And this particular survey focuses on area 1, improving wellness and safety, and area 3, improving communication and collaboration. So that data will then help us to set a future course and give us an idea, is our culture really what we think it is? And if so, great. And if not, it's going to give us some clear areas where we have to focus. So right now, we are kind of in individual buildings, and this is not bad. We are hitting those areas that are a priority to that building. In doing this work, we align that process as a system, and we all start pulling in the same direction for those greater concepts, mastery-based learning, guaranteed and viable curriculum that apply to all of us. And so we'll all be pulling in the same direction at that point. So in the spirit of making sure that Mr. Core does not get angry at me once again, this is the end of my presentation. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Interesting, really interesting stuff. Look forward to seeing this. I like the survey part.
Yeah,
That'll be- see what they say.
it definitely applies.
How do you
to
plan
our
on getting that out
accreditation.
to the community, like the parents?
So the first thing we're going to do is start introducing it to our staff, and then start getting the word out. And then by September 26th or 28th, that half day that we have, that is when we are going to have our staff take the survey first. We're going to expose people to the survey. Our older students will be exposed to the survey, and then getting it out to our parents as well. So we'll have absolutely JR involved in that process of rolling it out to our parents, and then also to our high school. But by going through the Marzano, it will be electronic if we need it to be. So,
Yeah. And I guess I can't emphasize the importance of the survey to all of our employees are going to take that, and certainly our parents. It's
well,
important, and students.
The great thing about it is it's one thing that we got dinged on our accreditation. We need to have something that's more updated. And this applies directly to some paths and some directions that will be laid out that take in our whole community and give us some guidance on where we need to go.
Brenda?
Will the board be included in that survey?
Yes, we'll probably, I would assume, we'll talk about which we may differentiate depending on maybe it's better to take the parent survey rather than the administrator survey. But yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions?
Yeah,
Mark?
you discussed a little bit trauma.
Yes.
Trauma. What trauma are you talking about?
Well, it can be any trauma, the trauma of an abusive home, trauma of an alcoholic home, a drug addicted home, trauma of loss. So trauma is a very broad concept. It's a very broad idea. So when, and we are asking for a half day on the 6th, and Mike Rule will come in and talk to all of our staff, and we encourage you to be there to look at his most recent data from trauma in the brain and the effects on trauma that trauma has on the brain, and then how we can help mitigate that trauma and help heal that brain.
Any other questions? Thanks, Greg. Appreciate
you.
the information. All right, our next item is an update on the or consideration authorization to go out for an RFP for a district vehicle. Craig?
Okay, I have the information from Rachel in front of me. We would like to purchase another large SUV. The vehicle needs to facilitate staff travel. The one that we're replacing was made the newspaper over Christmas, around Christmas time, for being stolen and ran into a fence. So it's unusable. But with the amount of traveling we do in the wintertime with small groups and staff, SUV would really be helpful to get us there and back safely.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve a request for proposal for a large SUV. And it's spelled out here, it should not exceed 55,000.
So moved.
Moved by Tom, second by Dave, to go out for a proposal on this SUV not to exceed 55,000. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item is hear an update on the summer projects. Mr. Hamel, welcome.
Board of Trustees. Yeah, you should find this list in 8.02 in your board docs. And so I guess I need this list was somewhat dynamic and based on the first day of school. So these are just, we're going to go down through the list and we're going to bring you up to date on what the real percentages probably are. So Monroe is 100% done. Green River High School, the wood shop has been painted. The tape hasn't been put back down. Theater LED lights are done. On the roof, we gave them a deadline of December 31st so that somebody could work that in to our benefit. You know what I mean? When things were slower, they could pick up the work. That hasn't started yet. I expect that to start in October. Locker room paint is probably 70% done. I think, I don't think, Tom said he would be done with the paint before the first day of school. So base might come a little bit after the first day of school, but the paint will be done. Clean out the locker storage areas. That was part of the epoxy paint job of the locker rooms. The Washington fence and the playground blacktop are done at Washington. The camera at Harrison is not done until tomorrow. The technology roof is done, and transportation. I would say that gate is probably about 75% done, and those people are supposed to show up here tomorrow too. Now, I can't tell you, they've been waiting on a motor, so I can't tell you that motor will be here tomorrow, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. The lounge, we have talked and decided that it's probably better if we put that into a couple days that we can find over Christmas versus trying to squeeze it in after school starts. So we'll change the date to December 31st on that one.
And that's in-house?
No, that is Insulation Inc. Sorry.
Okay.
And the intercoms, parts have been somewhat of a nightmare still. You hear about issues and probably tired of it, and so am I. But Marshall Industries does think that about the middle of September, they will be able to show up here and do the high school intercom upgrades along with the fobs for the high school. And I said high school upgrades. It's Lincoln Middle School, EA, and the high school, and bring the fob program up on, and I expect that to be done by about October 1st.
And then give us an update on the Groat House project.
So Groat House project, Fred does think that kitchen will be substantial on Friday. And even if it's not on Friday, it would be on Monday. I think the kitchen culinary project is at the high school is in good shape to be done by the first day of school.
Okay. I went up there today and they can do amazing things, I guess.
Yeah, there's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But it has come a long ways, and there's a lot of big equipment that went into that project that you don't see when you walk into the room.
Right. Yeah, it looks good. Looks like
Yeah.
it's gonna be nice.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep. Any questions of Doug? All right, thanks, Doug. Next, consideration of change in the calendar. Seems self-explanatory, but Mr. Behringer?
Yeah, Greg talked about having Mike Rule come to our district. I think this year he is coming seven different times though. Yeah, so his speech out in Fort Smith is something we really would be good for all of our staff to hear. He is here September 6th, working with a small group of teachers that day. We would like to be able to take that afternoon. His message is important. Even what Greg said, I remember going about 10 years ago to a workshop and they said the next great frontier is the brain. And people are going to learn about the brain. Well, he has got some of the latest information on how our brains work and what we can do with those and what schools will look like in the future. Very interesting. So we would like to be able to take that half day so we could have all of our district hear his talk. But then also we would like you to consider the half day on the early out on Friday, May 19th, the last day of the school year. It was great to get out and not have daycare overwhelm us in the.
Okay. I need a motion, please, to change the calendar for a half day on September 6th, half day on May 19th.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Tom, second by Ashley. The only thing I would say is be sure we promote this, especially the one on September 6th.
Yes.
Yeah, let the parents know.
Yeah, and if you get a chance to come to it, it is really good. Very good.
Okay.
And what's the time on that?
We have not set the time. It will just it'd be like 1 o'clock. We'll send out time.
Okay, perfect. Okay, any other questions? All's in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Comments, Mark, you want to start?
Thanks again for everybody's hard work and good luck welcoming our students back. Appreciate it.
Okay, Ashley.
Yeah, just hope everybody had a great summer and are ready to come back, and I'm excited for this next year. Thank you.
Okay, David.
Same, welcome back. Excited for you, new year, my last as a parent in the school district.
Good luck with that. Brenda.
Welcome back. Many new faces and TJ and old new face, but welcome to our district. We have complete faith in you. So TJ worked for me many years ago. So it's nice to have hometown folks back. So, and Katie, welcome to your new position. I know you're going to do great. So
Thomas.
great. Yeah.
All right, well, hats off to Greg, and that's a lot of work. Take that many people, come back and share that out and actually make something happen in the district. Doug, I know it's hard to keep track of all of the stuff going on, and your job is sometimes in the hands of somebody else. So appreciate your work. Congratulations, Danny Flaw. I think he'll be a good board member. Our new coaches, Jessica, welcome aboard. Darby and Kaylee, it was nice to meet them. I think we got great things going on there. TJ, we won't talk about how long ago it was. You played
Yes,
for
we
me,
will.
but,
I'm going to do that.
But that's been a while. And Katie, congratulations. So anyway, nice work, everybody. Welcome back.
Craig.
So Tony and I met with the city today, and it was what they do with our kids in the summertime is remarkable. We had 104 kids work in the grass pro, right? They average 75 kids a day. And if you ever get a chance to go over there, they do some remarkable things. It is way beyond daycare. It's interactive. They took several field trips. Rachel and her crew did a good job of getting them out to places. They had 112 kids for their youth volleyball camp. That's just 4th through 6th grade. That's a small, good numbers. They had 60 kids participate in the dance camp and 45 in the tennis. And then they had swim lessons at our facility. Our city, we have a good relationship with them, but really what they do to help us with our kids in the summertime is remarkable. And I'd like to thank them.
All right, great. TJ, 88. When did you graduate? I want to talk about it because I think I did play-by-play, you wrestling at state wrestling tournament, if memory serves correctly. 89. So you're just a little younger than Joe Hamill, or the same age? Yeah, okay, right in that era. Welcome to the district. Looking forward to seeing some of the things you bring after especially starting a school at Cheyenne South High School. That must have been quite an experience, but welcome back to Green River. We appreciate it. Thanks for everybody coming tonight. Administrators, welcome back. Look forward to working with you. And with that, I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you.